portrait, not straight up.
Yeah,
no landscape.
Yeah, no landscape. Maybe I should use those terms.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm at 2000.
that one, yeah. No comments. I'll leave it there. Compliments.
Yeah, that's a compliment, by the way. Hello.
Yes. So I hear that you're saying that the Western Cape, because now you separated provinces to what you just said, that some are a little bit advanced, some are lacking a little bit, and now my question was also about the BFASA. If is it something, an organization, is it in Cape Town only, is all over South Africa? Because that part was not clear. And now that you are saying other provinces are moving forward a little bit, but what is lacking in the Western Cape?
Okay. Firstly, when BFASA came into being, it was myself and a friend of mine, Dr. Mphuthumi. We were renting a farm at Hopefield. This farm was from government, given to a gentleman. Unfortunately, I've got to separate, a colored gentleman. We realized
a colored
gentleman.
Why do we still use the coloreds?
Yes, because this is what is happening.
I understand this.
There's over 200 million that was coming from national government.
Yes.
For black empowerment in terms of agriculture.
Aren't colors black?
Yes, I'm coming there. I'm coming there. Now, when this thing comes down, you are supposed to have all blacks in the Western Cape. Okay? And then blacks were just put into small gardens. Okay? In Khayelitsha there, in small gardens. But our black counterparts, colored and Indians, were the ones that were getting, these farms, and then we're wondering why.
So
because you don't see many Africans.
Indians and coloreds now
we're more
getting more.
We're more.
What year are we talking about here?
Well, from the beginning,
which is 1994.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You see more colored commercial farmers and Indian commercial farmers than you would see African commercial farmers in the Western Cape. I'm trying to think very hard if we have African commercial farmers in Western Cape.
Because now you are trying.
Because I am right there. Then that's when we started. Look, let's have BFASA. Let's lobby.
Are you a commercial farmer yourself?
I'm still a small commercial farmer.
But
until I went back to the Eastern Cape to try and find land.
So are you saying to me that because I like this? Are you saying the colored, the Indians, they are more privileged than the African? Well, but when you say African, I'll be clear, you're talking about the black people.
The black people.
Because according to me, colors are Africa.
Remember, during the apartheid, there was the tricameral parliament.
Yes.
There were no Africans in that parliament.
Yes.
Okay. This continued. They still continued throughout. Even after our current government took over. I mean, ANC took over. Okay, this thing was still going on. All right, in the Western Cape. And when you go to these conferences, these agricultural conferences, myself and my friend that formed Dr. Mphuthumi, that we formed BFASA, we were talking about 10,000-day-old chicks. And when you're sitting in the table and listening to these guys, no, listen, I've got 400,000 chickens, that I'm growing, as broilers and stuff like 10,000, and then you want to hide, under the table, what is 10,000? When are you going to be a commercial farmer if you're looking at 10,000?
Something just disturbed me. I'm not going to go away from it. I'll come back to you. Because when you mentioned, I still want to go into this. You noticed the colored, the Indians, being privileged than the African people, and the black people. Now that, to me, takes me back again to the times of apartheid, because we had that in the past. Why today?
Hence the whatever parliament,
Yes.
where there's the white colored Indian, basically. It started when when these guys came into being, your colored ministers, your colored, your Indian.
Do you think that term is correct? Actually, let's just talk about the color term. Do you think it's correct?
I don't know. I speak.
Because
they can speak for themselves, but we are blacks. All of us are blacks.
Yes,
but
yes.
The blacks there's blacks, Africans, Indians, and coloreds.
All right,
that's a fact.
No. Let's.
If one doesn't want to be called colored, for instance, you lift your hand up. I can't speak for colored people.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I can only speak for African people.
Yes.
But looking at diversity. Bifasa, for instance, is a diversified lobby group.
Who's an African? Maybe we should start there. Who's an African?
An African is he who is born from Africa. He who has a black skin, for instance, myself, for my being born, it didn't have to be someone from Europe to have influenced my being born. I was born by the Aborigines of Africa. Okay, we've got for instance, in the southern Africa, in the southern Cape, you've got the Khoi and the San. We come from the north. We tracked down because we were mostly farmers. We were looking for greener pastures. The first people, for instance, the clan Amambondonise, were the first to have interacted with the San, okay, in the Eastern Cape, and the Khoi in the Western Cape.
Are the Khoi Sans coloreds or not colored?
No, they are the Khoi and the San.
They are the Khoi and the San, and
now
the coloreds.
The colored is the mix of
the Khoi and the San.
No, it's the mix of the white and the Khoi.
So are you
the
saying
white and the black?
Does that also come to the color of their skin?
Not necessarily.
Or just about their culture?
It's about the mix part of it.
Because today
because colored is the mixed part of it.
Trevor Noah is colored.
Yebo.
But he's not called colored.
He's black.
Yes. Why is that?
Every colored people are called black because they are in the group black.
But in South Africa, we have colored, we have blacks, we have whites, we have Indians, we have whatever. In everything you feel in South Africa, our constitution, you recognize coloreds, you recognize blacks, you recognize whites. There's no way it says they are recognized as black. Okay.
No, they are recognized as blacks. But now in blacks you have African, you've got colored, you've got Indian.
Why are they coloreds? Why Trevor Noah is not called colored? Because if then we're looking at
Trevor Noah is colored, he's a mixed race.
Yeah, but he's not called as such.
Well, that's maybe it's because he grew up in the black township. I don't know.
So it's about culture then, being colored. It's about culture.
Yeah.
So would you say someone who's born in Africa is an African? Regardless of being white, blue, black, Chinese, but is an African.
Someone born in Africa is an African.
Exactly.
But now we need to zoom in.
Onto the problems of zooming in, giving us the challenges we are facing today.
You see, if we don't do that, then we will not be able to identify the diversity, the equity, and the inclusion. Because now, when I spoke about funds coming from national government for blacks, I would not have noticed that my blacks are excluded in the picture.
Guys, you heard that. That's very important. Continue, sir. He noticed that, and I love the fact that he's saying he noticed it because he was black. Sir,
he is black.
He is still black.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed yet. So as I don't know what we talk about when we talk about black people, but we're black here. Say, continue there. I love this part. So when you notice that we were excluded, that's when you started to say, you know what? I need to find another way of challenging this. Bifasa was there. Then now you are saying you have colors, you have blacks, you have whites, everybody in the Bifasa thing. How to join the Bifasa as a person like me who doesn't have means, finances, resources, like you said that in some of the things you must have some certain some money to get something. Now I'm just a poor black child from South Africa and I want to succeed. How do I go about this thing now?
You earlier on you brought in Bifasa was established in the Western Cape.
Yes.
With a national footprint.
Yes.
So we are represented in all the other provinces.
Yes.
But we've got a small footprint in the Northern Cape.
Yes.
Okay. We've got a membership of 50,000 plus. Okay. And so to join Bifasa, it's only 100 rands a month, 1,200 a year. And in many cases, we find people grouping themselves together, and then said, okay, take membership. You don't have to, even if we've got no support anyway, from government or whatever, from private entities, we are standing alone, okay? Not that we did not try to find support from government. We've lobbied, we've spoken to the relevant people in our culture, decision makers. Maybe they haven't seen what we are saying as such. They showed support, verbal support, and the new Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Nyonso, came into our place in Atlantis, and the previous ministers, we sat on the table. Minister Togo Didiza, for instance, on the table. They've never set foot on their place, and because we got the pre-license, we've managed to build a structure. Now that license structure, not all of us can be able to raise 30-40 million to build a structure. So to show government how to empower is to say, if you've got a tunnel that will grow under the auspices of this licensee, okay, have a structure that will cost you at least 800,000, 1.2 million, at least a group of people can be able to raise that, then you can build. That will cover everything, the plants, everything, and then this structure is going to, you'll have an agreement, an off-take agreement with this structure, okay? Because this structure has got off-take agreements, the bigger structure in Canada, in Australia, and so forth, okay? So that structure is not big enough, okay, to meet the offtake, okay? But now, if you're having a foot in the door through a tunnel, then it will be easier for you to raise 1.2 million than to raise the 40 million. And you still, this thing is, they buy the whole harvest. So a member of Bifasa will bring his children. So you've got, what we call it, wealth creation. generational wealth creation, because now Utata as the member will hand over to the children, and Upifasa will provide you with a grower, an experienced grower, so that what is grown there meets, the SAPRA standards. Because now it is medicine. You cannot be playing games with medicine.
No.
Okay, hence the strict SAPRA regulations, which is fine. Okay, but our bone of contention is to enter into the space is very difficult for a majority of people in this country. All right, and
what causes that? The money.
It's the equity. There's no equity, comrade. There's no equity.
Yes.
Now there are spaces. For instance, your NEFs, your CFAs, your IDCs, they can get into the space. Like they're getting into solar energy and the wind energy and stuff like that. IDC is providing equity, for those companies, and mostly Development Corporation.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Bank of South Africa, Development Bank of South Africa, DBSA. For instance, they should come in. Okay. Yes. Medical cannabis. Here's the supply. For instance, we've got retailers, big retailers in the townships. None of us are supplying there because we don't have the capacity to supply there. What goes into the townships goes out. Okay, the biggest opportunity is the township economy. Billions are getting out of the township without developing the townships. Okay, so there's no diversity here.
What do you mean they're getting out of the township?
Yes,
talk about the real money here.
Yes,
just
yes.
What type?
All right, how much is one retailer getting out of the township economy? It's billions.
What do we talk about when we talk about the retailer here?
The retailer is, I don't want to mention their names. Because,
not names, but just in terms of what is a retailer?
Those supermarkets.
Yes.
Those big supermarkets that are in the townships. Okay, the suppliers are outside the township. Okay?
That's what, yes.
The suppliers are outside the townships. Okay? What they provide in the township is job opportunities. That and that and that, but the real economic benefits are out and now the township.
And again, the people that are in retail there, not getting enough pay. They don't get paid enough. Because everyone I've seen, probably people that are in retail, I'll come there having whatever job that I'm having. They are there to help you, right? But hardly you see some of them living in a space whereby you'd say this person probably is making it, but the company is making it through them.
Most of the
is that what I should understand to that statement?
Yes, most of the employees in that space in the township retail business are still living in shacks, in RTB houses. They cannot get out.
So the big companies also, because these are big companies we're talking about.
Of course, big retailers. The top 4, for instance.
Yes.
Okay. One big retailer sourced funding from government to develop a franchise, for the previously disadvantaged. But that structure was formed only to benefit the big retailer.
Yes.
As a result, people were left with big debts. That thing couldn't last for 2 years, for 3 years. Now all of a sudden you're left with a big debt. Okay, because this thing is skewed towards the big retailers.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
But now you have government, which is supposed to be for the people. Okay, now when I will always go back to the medical cannabis. When this was formulated, the presidency is there, all of these are there in that group. But how did this thing go through with you guys there? How did you allow such things? How do you allow? We understand. I know, for instance, white people fight for white people. White political parties fight for white political parties. But why can't black political parties fight for, because there's still black and white today.